Okay, I've got the rear fender clamped in place down here. I've also got it clamped up front there and down low by the door. Let's see, right in there. And I'm getting it pretty darn close to a nice even gap all the way up. So I think I've got the panel in the right spot. The only place I'm having a little trouble is down here in the corner, but I think this has sustained some damage or something down in here. It doesn't really look right, so I'm hoping to maybe metal work some of that back into shape. As long as like 95% of this gap fits right, I think I can massage the rest and make it work. So I'm going to start welding this thing back on. I just spent about the last hour. I tack welded this piece here, which I think you saw. Then I've been pushing on this fender and moving things around. I cut a couple of the old, I cut one of the old gaskets there, or what the hell am I trying to say? Well, the old rubber seal up, so I could set it under there. Make sure when we close, all the fender looks good. This side and this side. This side, pretty good looking, and we're still floating up here. I haven't finished welding this piece in, just so we can make all these adjustments. And this piece over here, which is the fender we're just putting back on, the gap's looking pretty good. I've got it clamped up there, and I've got it clamped underneath as well. I've been, like I said, pushing on it. So I'm going to start tack welding it, and as I tack weld it, I'm going to come back here and constantly check to make sure this gap stays good. Alright, I've got our upper piece welded here. The gap is still looking good down the hood. I've got this piece over here. I spent about 15-20 minutes getting everything fit up through here and up to here and back in here, just grinding off old brass and trying to make it fit right. I've got a little bit of bumping to do through here, but and a little bit of filling to do. I guess I need to turn that a little bit. A little gap to fill here, but relatively minor stuff. So we'll get this part welded up next. The important thing to keep in mind on stuff like this is always make sure your panels are lining up and keep the air close by. Because with these things, they have a tendency to shrink if you let them get too hot for too long, and keep everything moving around. Alright, we've got the fender on. You can see I made a little patch panel here and welded up all the cuts that I made, and back along here. Everything's fitting probably better than it ever has since I own the car, and I've owned the car for 15 years or better. Really glad I took the panel off. It was definitely the right thing to do. The gaps in the back are lining up. I went through today and hammered the front edge of this back and started working on that gap a little bit too, and it looks 100 times better than it ever has. So I'm really satisfied with the decision to start or to take that panel off and really get after it. So I do have a little bit more welding up underneath the wheel well and some of the underside stuff, but cosmetically it's looking like it should. So about midnight, so I'm about to wrap it up.